All right, guys, good morning. Good morning to all of my subscribers out there. 73 subscribers now, so slowly growing. I'm getting more comments. People are sharing my videos, so seems like people are enjoying the content. And there are, of course, people who are butthurt by my content. They just can't help themselves but leave a comment. So we're growing slowly and surely. But regardless, I want to make a video reaction to Doctre81, the self-proclaimed doctor himself, fellow Nintendo fanboy. And recently, for you guys who've been following my channel, I have been shitting on the Sonic Racer Crossworld game, because that game is the perfect example, the best evidence that shows that people are fucking hypocrites when it comes to the prices of Nintendo. All right, because that game has a deluxe version. That deluxe version, it costs $90 fucking versus Mario Kart World, which was $80. Mario Kart World gives you 50 playable characters. The Sonic Racer game, with the $90 deluxe, it gives you an extra 3 characters, which tallies up to 26 characters total. Now, does that sound like a good deal? Does that sound like a bang for your buck? No, it is. It's not. And supposedly they will drop, additional characters over time with the bullshit, season pass. But at least with Mario Kart World, you can unlock these characters immediately as soon as possible as you are playing the game. And I believe I unlocked all the characters within a month of playing it, right? So there is no other greater example of a fucking video game that just proves the hypocrisy and double standard when it comes to Nintendo's prices. That just proves that the people who are raging about Nintendo's prices are all just hypocrites and just Nintendo haters. Than this game, than Sonic Racer Crossworlds. And that's it's the most recent game and the most relevant right now, at least on YouTube, at least on the internet. Is it relevant in the grand scheme of things? Are people really buying this game? I don't think so. But YouTube, people on YouTube, the internet, they're definitely pushing hard for this game, and it just shows how hypocritical they are, because they don't seem to have one bit of a problem with that $90 price tag. Now, you would think that somebody like Doctre, who wants to grow their channel, he's on the road to 20,000 subscribers, he's stuck at 10,000 subscribers, you would think that he would talk about this game. You would think he would point out the hypocrisy, the double standards surrounding this game, and he would go after the haters with it, because this is the #1 game that Nintendo haters are rallying behind. It is Sonic Racer Crossworld. And so if you want to really, make some noise on the internet, on YouTube, you would go after this stupid game. But what does fucking Doctre81, the most intelligent man on YouTube, decide to talk about instead? He decides to fucking dig up a irrelevant, random Nintendo game that was released many months ago for the Switch. And that game being Nintendo World Championship. That's what he decides to talk about. He decides to talk about that game, of all fucking games. So irrelevant. Nobody glazed the shit out of that game the way they did with the Sonic Racing game. But nope, that's the game he wants to talk about. So let's go ahead and let's react to this foolishness real quick.
I don't know. To me, judging based on what I'm seeing here, this kind of looks like this is one of the cashiest cash grabs this side of Cashville. What it do, bruh? Talk of the town.
He says that's the cashiest cash grab of this side of Cashville, or whatever the fuck. So is that Sonic Racer. That's an egregious cash grab right there. But whatever. This game, yeah, it probably is a cash grab. I did get the game and I enjoyed it. But this is Nintendo we're talking about. They're allowed to make their games cash grabs, because they value the games that much. It's the value of their games that really matters. Sonic's not that well valued. He really isn't. Nobody gives a fuck about Sonic, and if people did, why do they have to rely on all these other video game characters to sell that stupid racing game, right?
Nintendo, Doctre, still holding it down, still making the best games, and this broke, it's true, you don't like it, you can have it. Now, there's been a lot of back and forth regarding pricing for Nintendo Switch 2 products, specifically their games. And one of the main topics of late have been the pricing on Super Mario Galaxy 1 plus Galaxy 2 for Switch and Switch 2, which is a horrible name. They should have just called it Super Mario Galaxy Collection. The Super Mario Galaxy 1 plus Galaxy 2. Like, those stupid naming. Everybody.
That's got to be the dumbest complaint I've heard ever. I mean, really? He's complaining about the name, like, oh, that's such a stupid name. They should just call it the collection. Like, who the fuck cares? I mean, it's like the same fucking difference, dude.
It knows what it is, but it should have just been called Super Mario Galaxy freaking Collection. But anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
So, that game, if you want to get both games together on physical or even digital, will run you $70, and a lot of people have had issues with that. And, $70 for two older games, even if they have been improved, is quite a bit to ask. But the crazy part is, if you actually go back and look at the collections of games Nintendo has released in the past that had anything featuring any Mario games, they've pretty much always been overpriced, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
The only time where the collections of games that have come out featuring Mario that haven't been overpriced was pretty much the first time that they did it. When they came out with the Mario collection for the Super Nintendo, that was actually seen as that was an insanely good deal, because not only did it have 3 games or 4 games or whatever it had, every single one of those NES games were remade to Super Nintendo quality. So that was an amazing deal at the time. Mario All-Stars, Super Mario All-Stars on the Super Nintendo was an incredible deal at the time. But after that, all of the collections have pretty much been priced pretty aggressively. Like, people seem to not remember this, but maybe because, I don't know, maybe because I'm old and you guys weren't born yet or too young, but Nintendo came out with that anniversary Mario collection for the Nintendo Wii. That was an insane ripoff. It was literally an NES ROM dump that they charged the same price as they did a regular Nintendo Wii game. And guess
yeah, I grew up during the N64, GameCube, and Wii era. I don't even remember that game, to be honest. But, like, who cares? Why are you even bringing that up? That's so way fucking long ago. Why even bring that up? It's irrelevant now.
But people bought it up in droves. It was sold out. People was reselling on eBay. I didn't buy that crap.
Really, people bought it up in droves? Like, how many did it sell total? Because when you look at the best-selling games, I never see this game anywhere. I never even heard about this game, so what the hell are you talking about, dude?
But that's the thing here. Like, they've released a bunch of compilations and a bunch of collections featuring Mario, and usually, they're severely overpriced. And the Mario 3D All-Stars collection that came out for the Switch, I think was actually, even at the time, was actually priced pretty good considering the past collections and NES remix and all of that stuff like that. Yeah, they priced it pretty good, and honestly, I think one of the only reasons why they did give you all of that for $50 or $60 is probably because they were coming from the Wii U. But yeah, a lot of people are just really upset with this price of these Galaxy games on this collection. But it trips me out because just last year, Nintendo dropped the biggest cash grab of all time. And a lot of these same people, actually most of these same people that's complaining about this price, had no issue whatsoever dropping $60 on this.
I think that's bullshit. He's trying to say that the people crying about, Mario Galaxy's price, the price for the Mario Galaxy collection, had no issue with the with that game's price or whatever. Like, he's saying it's the same people. First of all, dude, most of the fucking people crying about Nintendo's prices are not even Nintendo fans to begin with. You need to get that through your damn head, Doc Trey. Most of the people who are complaining about their prices are just Nintendo haters. That is it. Okay? So, and then you're saying, like, you know, the same people who, you know, are bitching about Mario Galaxy Collection's price being $70 were totally fine with this. I mean, can you name any names? Can you tell me which people they were? I mean, because you say that with such confidence, like you know that for sure. Last I checked, that game, the Nintendo World Championships game, that game was relevant for maybe 2 or 3 weeks after its launch. I never really heard that many people like praising that fucking game. So I just don't understand why you're you know, where you're getting all this bullshit from.
No hesitation. And it trips me out because it's like, yes, the Mario Galaxy games are older games, but they're 2 of the greatest games of all time, and now going to be playable in 4K on the Switch 2. And that's a ripoff of 70, but these collection of NES games released last year for $60, and none of these games have the full game on the package. It's a bunch of NES games that you get to play from like 4 to 30 seconds. Yeah, where was all of the protests? Where was everybody getting all mad at the price of this?
Well, let's see. There must be many reasons for that. One, you didn't have Nintendo Switch 2 haters at the time, you know, because there was just this big narrative that, well, you know, the Switch, we can't talk, you know, the Switch isn't destroying PlayStation, even though it was destroying PlayStation and Xbox. People didn't count it because, well, it wasn't as powerful as them. The system wasn't as powerful. It was a weaker system. It was a last gen console, so therefore it didn't count. Switch 2, because it's just as powerful, just as capable as running these big powerful games, it's a threat. So that's why you have more people bitching about any game that comes out, any price, whatever. So there's that. Another reason is because, well, probably because there's a lot of people who want Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. They really want. That's a game that is, you know, high in demand. And, you know, the NES remix or whatever, nobody really cared about that game. I don't know how many copies that game sold, but probably not a lot. Probably not a lot. Not a lot of people cared about it. And so, therefore, not a lot of people really complain about the price of it.
Why was it okay for this to be $60? But Mario Galaxy 2 and 1 in 4K is such a big issue. And I think the main reason for that is not just that this game is aggressively priced, it's that the market condition has drastically changed from last year to now.
Niggas are broke these days.
I can guarantee you, if this game came out at the same time, if both of these games were announced at the same time together, far less people would have pushback for the price as they do now, because conditions have changed. But I just thought it was very interesting that this game in particular is getting so much pushback with the price. Yet just last year, just over a year ago, Nintendo released the most cash grab in their history, and people ate it up.
Alright, here's what's interesting, Doc Trey. You decided to talk about that fucking game and not the Sonic Racer Crossworlds game. That's what I find interesting. Why do you talk about that? Why do you talk about this random, irrelevant Nintendo game from last year, and instead of talking about that stupid fucking Sonic racing game that is far more relevant, that has all of the Nintendo haters backing it, even though it is a $90 fucking game. Yeah, it's a $70 base game, But even the $70 base game itself is a piece of shit. It's like just 23 playable characters. It's not worth $70. It's not even worth $50. A stupid game like that is like $40 at most, at best. And on top of that, the $90 deluxe version only gives you an extra 3 characters, so now you're at 26 characters total. You might get a few extra tracks to race on. And what else? Oh, you get like some type of season pass or whatever, and that means like, you know, every now and then they're gonna give you a few extra characters to play as. Even and it might end up, you know, it might end up getting up to like 50 characters total. But does that still make it worth $90? Hell fucking no, it doesn't. Again, Mario Kart World, a much better polished game, a higher quality game, has 50 characters playable right off the bat. It's an open world game, and that's only $80 compared to fucking $90. So, Doc Trey, why is it that you choose to talk about this fucking, you know, random, irrelevant Nintendo game and not the game that all of the stupid Nintendo haters are rallying behind? Like, I'm a little bit confused with that there, you know? Are you scared of Sonic fans? Are you scared of these dumbass Sega fans? Are you scared of Nintendo haters in general? I just find it so fucking stupid that you talk about this irrelevant game that you had to dig up that was, you know, released over a year ago. Nobody cares about it, all right? And you also said that people were eating it up. Dude, you're acting like, no, people were not eating that game up. I've never seen anybody just hyping the shit out of this game. Some people were just like, oh yeah, cool, I'll definitely get that. But, I mean, you didn't have like hundreds of videos of like people talking about the game, saying how awesome it is and how you gotta get it. I think I've seen people complain about the price, to be honest. I think I've actually seen some people say, yeah, I don't know if it's worth the $60, you know. People were complaining that, you know, it's multiplayer. It doesn't really have like online multiplayer or anything where you could play with your friends. Nowhere near as many people. Like this game did not get a bunch of hype. You didn't have people glazing it the way you have people glazing the Sonic racing game or whatever. By the way, you want to talk about stupid names for a video game? Sonic Racer Crossworlds is a very stupid fucking game. I mean, name, sorry. That's a very stupid name. That's got to be one of the fucking corniest, cheesiest fucking names you could give a video game. But I'm just curious, why the hell are you not talking about that game, Doc Trey 81? That is far more relevant right now when it comes to, you know, game prices or whatever, or games that Nintendo haters like. That's the best fucking example right now of a game that just proves that the people who hate on Nintendo and because of their you know, the prices of their video games are all just fucking hypocrites. That's the number one game. That's the game every Nintendo fan should be going after. You want to get 20,000 subscribers or whatever, why don't you trash that fucking game? Trash that game. Go after Nintendo haters' favorite fucking video game of the month and trash that game. Why the hell are you stupidly just digging up this random, irrelevant game that nobody cares about? Nobody really cared too much about it when it came out. And you're acting like, oh, people ate it up. Who? How many copies did the fucking game sell? What are you talking about? You sound like an idiot, bro. Sound like a moron. You are a Democrat, so you are stupid, but I would think you'd be a little bit more intelligent when it comes to what's going on in the world of gaming. What's going on YouTube right now. And right now, you got fucking dumbasses who are acting like $90 for 26 playable characters in this piece of shit Sonic game is totally fine and okay, right? Some people are saying, it's great, it is such a fun, you know, there's a lot of idiots just glazing the game and acting like it's great. And then there's very, very few people keeping it real and saying, yeah, this game is not better than Mario Kart. It's not even as good. It's not even close. It's not even close. So the only people who are glazing the game are obviously the same Nintendo haters who were having a fake outrage about the $80 Mario Kart World game and Sonic Racer Crossworlds absolutely fucking exposes and proves that they're all full of shit. If there's one game you should be attacking Doc Trey, it's that game. Instead, you're over here digging up some random game, irrelevant game that nobody cares about. Nobody glazed when it came out. It was maybe relevant for the first couple of weeks after its release. I don't know how many people even bothered buying that game or even talking about it. You decide to talk about that game. Like, it's so stupid. Like, are you really trying to, grow your channel? I mean, all this, like, pussy shit isn't going to help you. I mean, why are you too scared to talk about the Sonic racing game? Why not go after that game? That makes more sense to talk about, especially if you're trying to grow your channel, especially if you're trying to, expose the double standards and hypocrisy regarding Nintendo's prices. That is the game to talk about. Instead, you're over here like, oh, this Nintendo World Championship, people ate this up. What the like, I don't get it. I was like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Shut up. Shut up. What a fucking waste. What an absolute joke of a video this was. Anyways, yeah, that's my response to Doc Trey 81's bullshit little video there where, he decides to dig up an irrelevant game to talk about instead of going after Sonic Race Across Worlds, probably because, he's scared of the Sonic and Sega fangirls. He's scared of the Nintendo haters. He doesn't actually want to drop any truth bombs on them, but yet he still expects to get he still expects to grow his channel and reach 20,000 subscribers. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that. I mean, common sense would tell you that if you want to grow a channel, you talk about things that are relevant, What's relevant right now is that stupid Sonic game, because that's what all the haters are rallying behind. Nobody is rallying behind the fucking Nintendo World Championships game that has been irrelevant for months. It was irrelevant, 2 or 3 weeks after its release. Nobody really talked about that game. Anyways, yeah. That was my response to this guy. Stupid video. What a dumb throwaway video. Maybe he'll get some vigor soon and he'll actually, call out games that are actually relevant. But anyways, that's all I got. I'll see you guys later. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below and take care. See ya.